Hi all, and welcome back to the shed. Today I'm going to kind of review and put together the eco-worthy solar panel bracket, the adjustable one. In their manual they call it the adjustable multi-pieces solar panel mounting brackets, which is a long word for an adjustable panel. It's made more for a ground mount or something of that nature. And it looks like it fits maybe 4 of the like the 195 watt or 200 watt eco-worthy solar panels, something of that nature. We're going to find out. Maybe it's only large enough for the 100 watt ones or 120 watt ones. It doesn't really give us specific in here how long it is, so we're going to put it together and find out. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So that's what it's supposed to look like when she's done. It came in just a plain brown box like this. Now it was in a lot better shape when I got it. It got stuck out in the rain, and well, it is rated for outdoors, so I just didn't really worry about it. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we got here. Right off the bat, we've got some instructions in here. Oh, it looks like it's 9 feet. 9.84 feet by 3.28 feet, so approximately 9 feet 9 inches by 3 feet 4 inches or 3 inches. Got a part list here, and basically made out of your like half slot channel is what it looks like, which is actually fairly common at most hardware stores. So I kind of like it for that aspect. We'll kind of like piece through it here. Just going to take this off. You can see it's got the some hinges and your half slot channel. A couple different widths there. Then it's got a box inside of the box here with a variety of hardware, including the bracket nuts, which are nice. Comes with a wrench and a little 3 lug wrench there, and some panel hold down. So this is actually a pretty comprehensive set. So let's go ahead and get into it and see what we can come up with. Well, let's start by taking a look at the instructions here. And of course we have our parts list and whatnot, which we know what's to expect there. Probably either extra pieces of some that we don't need, and pieces that we do need we're not going to have enough of. Not because of eco-worthy, it just seems to be the way it goes. And so right off the bat they're starting out with the foot here, and we're going to use 2 times 2 times. Now everything's in millimeters. Okay, so about 600 millimeters, that's about 24 inches, so about some 2 footers, and the base is what we need to fish out here. Now you can see that on one end it's got 2 holes here. You're going to line up with the 2 holes for the bases here. The other end just has 1 hole, so that's pretty straightforward there. Now with the kit, it does have this these masonry anchors for, you know, like attaching it to a slab or something of that nature, but we're not going to do that today, so we'll just skip on that step. Okay, the next step is basically getting the hinges into place. That looks pretty straightforward to me, actually. And we've got some with hinges attached already. Put that there. Put this here. Okay, so next, basically, if we take a closer look at the manual here, We've got to connect the longer struts together, and they've got these little joiners, if you want to call them that, couplers as it were, for the half slot channel. They've got the nuts and bolts already in place. We'll go ahead and loosen them up and get everything together here. And they already have these in place with the hinges where they're supposed to be, so that's pretty cool actually. And like I said, they include the wrench to take these, loosen these up a bit, which is very nice. It's kind of like, you know, well thought out so far, and they want you to have success, which is really nice. Okay, so I mean, they're loose right now, but you can kind of see the general idea, and we'll get them straightened out and tightened up. And when I am tightening them up and I want it to be nice and straight, what I'll do is I'll run it right along the edge of this plywood here before I tighten them up, so that way everything is nice and straight and uniform. Okay, let's go ahead and get at it. Okay, so I've got the couplers on, holding together the longer cross rails of the half slotted rail, and you can see I kind of spread these out individually on each half slot rail just as much as I could to get more purchase. A little bit hard to keep them straight, but I think once I get them fastened down onto the struts themselves, I can kind of straighten it out and manipulate them from there. So let's take a look and see what's happening here. Next on the agenda, and getting the panels on there too, that's going to help stiffen everything up. So they've got it down as about 2.5 feet in from each end is where the cross rails are going to rest on top of our mounts there, our bottom mounts with the middle, and they call them the long poles, and they're going to rest on top of the channel steel to the joint. I guess that's what they're calling it. Anywho, you can kind of get the final picture there. Let's go ahead and take a look. 2.5 feet. Okay. Okay, so what I'll do is, I got my little marker here. So what we'll do is, I'll just make a little mark here at 2.5 feet. Top or bottom, that's the question. Start with the bottom. We'll just kind of come in 2.5 feet on each rail there and make a little mark. Okay, so we got most of the parts assembled with the exception of our uprights. We're going to go ahead and take care of that now. And so basically, this is going to slip right onto the top here. Okay, we'll go ahead and get that snugged up, and then we'll move on to the top rails. Okay, so one of the things that doesn't really go over in the book is making sure that everything is equal distances. And when I mentioned that, you know, it's kind of like from the hinge bracket to the end down here, and same with the top. And then also, you know, where our cross struts are going on, making sure that, you know, everything is equal. So that way when we square it up, it actually squares up and it's parallel, and our panels will fit on there and everything will look nice and tight. It's really important, otherwise you look like you're doing a shoddy job. If you start out bad and nothing is equal, you know, we're talking all of these little distances here from the end of your strut to the end of your hinge, so on and so forth on every single aspect, then what happens is everything gets a little bit off, and you get your panels on there and they won't quite go on there straight, and they look kind of crooked, and it looks like you're doing amateur work, and we all know that we're better than that. So that's just a little point I wanted to make right now. Let's go ahead and move forward, and we're going to install our top rails on there. We've already marked them out so that we're nice and equal, and then we're going to make sure that we're nice and equal here. I think I'm just going to go up like 6 inches and make a mark, and then we'll just kind of carry on from there. Okay, so I ended up going 6.5 inches. You can see my mark there, and you may be curious, like, how are these going to fasten? Well, I forget the name of these particular nuts, but they're for slotted channel nuts. You can pick them up in your hardware store also. And this one already has the bolt running through it. Let's go ahead and take that out really quick. Okay, so I took the bolt out. You can either slide these in from the end like this, if it'll fit, or you can see where there's a rounded part on the nut itself, and you put that in there and you turn it, right? It'll actually stay up and into place there. Now, once it's here, it can, it can slide around for better adjustments and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get that into place and see what we come up with. Okay. Okay, so there's the rack mostly put together, and honestly it's pretty sturdy once you get everything locked in. So a few things I've noticed. Well, we'll come back to that in a minute. Right now, let's kind of look at putting the panels in. Included in the kit is some clamps for the end, and also some clamps for the middle. You can see they go in between 2 panels, and then these actually just clamp right onto the ends of the panels. We'll do just a temporary setup with a couple 3 Renogy panels that I have over here. Now, I would use a bigger panel for this. I measured it out. You can get about 5 Renogy panels on here, the 100 watters. I would go bigger. I think EcoWorthy recommends their 200 watt panels. So you can get 4 of those on there and be at approximately 800 watts, which is pretty good. I figured out with a couple different panels, it seems like organized correctly, this is good for about 800 watts of panels. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at that and how all that mounts up. Okay, so when I'm getting ready to mount the panels on the bracket, I actually like to find the center and work out each way, so that way everything's nice and even, and we have even reveals and it looks professional. It's a simple step to take that doesn't take long to do, and it makes everything look a lot better in the end. So basically I'll just grab my tape measure and we'll kind of measure out the entire crossbar here. And I've got 118 1/4 inches, 5/16 really, but we'll call it a quarter. So 118 divided by 2 is going to be 59 1/8, I believe. Okay, so we'll just do a double check on that at 59 1/8. So I'll come in this way. Again, I'll hook the crossbar. Make a nice little mark right there, just a little dot. And just about perfect actually. That 16th kind of threw me off a little bit, but we're right in between it, so we could have went heavy on that. So we got that one. A little bit trickier. What we'll do is go ahead and get the top one now. We'll go 59 and that 16th, heavy. Just double check it this way. Oh, that one actually worked out just about perfect at 59 1/8. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now, once that is up in place, once that's up in place, we're going to take this and just kind of get it ready. Now, EcoWorthy did send an Allen wrench to go ahead and loosen up these shoulder bolts, if you want to call them that. They're not really shoulder bolts, they're just kind of machine screws. And we can kind of get that started in there and get it centered up. Now, oh, that's interesting. We're going to loosen that up all the way. Go ahead and get it started there. Remember, you put them in, then you twist. And you'll be in pretty good shape there. Let's go ahead and start here. Twist. Put that up there. Okay, so putting the panels on and holding them while you're getting the clamps on can be somewhat difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to design a little jig, so to speak. I just happen to have some aluminum stock laying around, and the holes actually line up perfectly. It's kind of nice. And I'm going to use it for a jig to just rest the panels on so they're all nice and straight, and then we can get the clamps on without too much effort. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. EcoWorthy sent me what appears to be some extra nuts and bolts in this package. Are going to work out perfect for mounting this aluminum stock to our brackets here. So I'm going to run the aluminum stock underneath here. Now we're going to do this panel here. Let's just drop it on in like that. There we go. Oh yeah, these are actually some brackets from another EcoWorthy panel that I'll show you later, and we'll just go ahead and use those for the purpose. I think it'll work great actually. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll undo the go ahead and measure everything as usual. We got 5.5. Oh, that's a little bit off there, crooked little bastard. Okay, so let's take a look at, the jig I made to hold the panels in place while I start clamping them down. It's nothing special. I just happen to have some aluminum stock laying around from another project that I was working on before, and I went ahead and utilized that. I've got some angle aluminum I kind of robbed temporarily from another EcoWorthy bracket system, and clamped it on there. Of course, these spaces have been measured and they are even with the bar, parallel, so to speak, so that way we got nice straight panels. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and start mounting some panels and see how it works out here. Now you can see I've got the angle iron obviously lower than the bracket there, so we're not having weird wires on the bottom. I like all the wires of the panels to be on the same side, so that way we're not like having things hang proud and uneven. So I'll go ahead and I've already found all the dirt off there. We've already found our center mark there, so we'll go ahead and line that up. And that way this can slide right on over like this. And it just kind of clamps on like that, you see? So that's pretty straightforward. It's going to keep it straight. So let's go ahead, loosen that up a bit. Let's put it down. Those are easy to twist in. Let's grab another panel. We'll throw it on up there. Wipe the bottom off because it's been kind of resting on the ground for right now. Oh, that looks really good. Professional, actually. Which is what we're after. We like nice, clean looks. Even though we're do-it-yourselfers, there's no reason to make it look shoddy. Doesn't have to be perfect. We just don't want it to be shoddy, right? Get that in there just like that. Get that panel, lift it up over the blue tab, slide it on in. Okay. Oh yeah, that's gonna be, well, oh I see, it's riding up over that angle iron there. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. You don't want to tighten them down to the hilt. You don't want to cinch these babies down to where you can't move them anymore. It could bend the frame and crack the panels. We want them perfect, okay? Okay, so once we get these panels clamped in the middle, we should be able to remove this jig down here and move it over for another panel without these panels moving too much. Let's just take a look. We'll go nice and slow. Perfecto. So the panels aren't secure yet. They're good enough for us to move the jig around, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move one stay right now. It can be kind of tricky. We're going to have to go underneath and do this. Whew, okay, getting the bolts out is like the trickiest part. Let's go ahead and move the jig down here. So we'll come on over here. Okay, when I want to clamp something directly to the panel, I actually want to use something on top of the panel, especially so that way we're not denting anything. The bottom's not as important. It's got a lot of reinforcement down here. But again, this is something we don't just want to like cinch down and tighten to the almighty, you know. Just isn't worth it. So pop that on there. I don't want to clamp over the glass, I want to clamp over the frame. Just like that. So taking a closer look at that, basically I just, you know, right on the corners there, right on the frames it's clamped down. I've got a little angle iron. It's going to come over here and the other panel can rest on that. So let's go ahead and get our other two panels. We got that one. Let's get the last panel mounted and we should be in good shape. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the other panel up and then we'll put our clamps into place.
Halo, secure message.
And then we'll show you the end clamps. Now, I know I said we're only going to do 3 panels, but I changed my mind mid-stride and we're going to do 4. We'll set that up nice and easy. Just like that. Okay, and voila. Let's take a look at the end clamps now. Now the end clamps, they're set up a little bit different. You see, when they, let's grab that wrench. They've got like a little lip on the end here. I'll show you that. Boy, howdy. Come on now. You see, the middle clamps, when they come down, they can bite nice and even and pull the panels all the way down to the frame and secure it. On the ends, it wants to rock like that if you don't have like this little tab here, and that'll force it down like that. Kind of a little physics lesson, I guess, there, leverage and whatnot, but kind of makes it nice so that way we can kind of slide them in. There's that. Making sure that they're snug up against there. We'll get this started. Oh, that's beautiful, actually. Actually a really good system. This is a good system. I really like this, actually. Okay, so kind of like the last part of the assembly is for our half slot channels. Eco-Worthy even sent these little caps here, which are pretty cool, actually. So I can get that to zoom in a little bit. You can, you know, at the hardware store or Lowe's or something like that, you can also get the caps, different color and stuff like that. But these came with it, and they basically just snap. See if I turn that a little bit, kind of like right into the end of your half slot channel there. And they just snap in like that. Really kind of dresses out the end, makes it look nice and sharp. I'm not going to put all of them in right now. Well, maybe I will, just for fun. Okay, so there's the 4 panels on the Eco-Worthy adjustable brackets. I actually like these brackets a lot. There's a couple things I don't care for, but they're very minor. This works. One of the bummers is if you're using 100-watt panels, you can only get probably a total of 5 on there. I've got 4 and I've got some excess on each side. You could probably do 6 if you put some another set of extenders on each end. Or if you shifted everything over, you could get 5 on and have them centered up. But I think that basically, you know, this system is set up for 200-watt panels, and you can get 4 on there comfortably. For about 800 watts. I know I've got some 400-watt panels, and I think I figured out I could get 2 on there if I did it correctly, but I'm not even sure about that. I know for 4 200-watt panels, I think it'd work out pretty well according to the specs and the dimensions. Things that I didn't care for on this, if you look underneath here at, you know, the footing, you can see like a little space in there, so I couldn't tighten it up. I put it together exactly as Eco-Worthy wanted me to, and tighten it down. It's still a little bit of slop in there. I could have easily fixed that with some washers in between the half slot channel and the bases. Wouldn't be a problem there. Beyond that, there's really not much that I don't like about this system. The half slot channel you can pick up at your local hardware store if you need more of it for whatever reason. It is adjustable, and they have the measurements to spread these feet apart, or these bases apart, uprights, whatever you want to call them, so that way you can get different angles, which is nice. So they've already worked out the math for you. They sent enough parts to actually mount it to concrete, which is what they recommend. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with these yet. I don't have a place for this. I may in the end. I'm going to actually build onto this area right here, kind of extend the shed, and I may just pop these up on top of that. Call it good to go. We'll see. I may just give them away to somebody too, because I really don't need them. I also have some rural property that I may eventually set it up out there and just have a nice little system, and buy another couple racks of these. It makes nice ground mounts, actually. Not exactly adjustable like the EG4 ground mounts, but I think for the price, you really can't go wrong. Why lie? You know what I'm saying? So, at anywho, compared to another set of brackets made up for a different reason, these are Eco-Worthy brackets also. Let's get these set up here. So the adjustable brackets there in front, you see it with the aluminum angle iron and the little arm. Those are also Eco-Worthy. Great price, great little bracket. I'll include a link for a system I had set up prior to the one I have now using those brackets. It worked really well. I can't argue with it. Yeah, anyway, that's kind of the lowdown of the Eco-Worthy adjustable brackets. They got a big old long name for it, but I really appreciate you guys watching, and I think it's pretty awesome that we're all involved in this and trying to do a little bit better, to be a little bit more independent and a little bit easier on the old grid, so to speak, and getting off grid as much as we can. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Thanks for tuning in, guys.